What's going on, traders? Hope everybody had a great week, a great Friday. Wanted to do a recap of the S&P 500. You know the drill. February 17th, and we'll look ahead to next week. Of course, it's President's Day, Monday. The markets are closed. And as far as economic events, I will post a full calendar on my Twitter _ at Shark Trader. But the major thing that I want to point out, FOMC minutes on Wednesday. So let's watch out for that, certainly. Now, for the new traders, I wanted to say something here. We're stuck in, what we like to call Satan's chop box here. 2 inside weeks, but I've had a lot of fun trading it personally. Had quite a range to trade here. The highs around 416.60 or so. The low today 404 basically. So a nice range to trade. If this was a $1 or $2 or $3 range or something, I'd be pulling my hair out. But we've had a lot of volatility to the upside and downside. A lot of opportunities. If you're having trouble, don't beat yourself up about it, because this is definitely trickier price action for sure, as we are stuck in this range and still stuck in this flag. So here the weekly that what we're looking at right now, and again 2 inside bars, inside weeks. A couple of other things I wanted to go over, and I had to actually remake this video because I didn't touch on it. Something I'm looking at the daily. Here, just remove this. Back in the flag, we're talking about that fake break. Bullard came in, ruining the party, pushing us back inside. So now we're back here. We have a little bit of a gap that we attempted to fill today, but we were not able to. And of course, we will go over today's price action, what I traded, what I was looking at, and of course the projections. But a couple of things I wanted to go over on the daily really quick that I did not go over in my last video that I just recorded, and then I thought, oh my god, I forgot to mention these things. Let me go back and record it. So it's already taken me a couple of times to do this. So if you guys are liking the content, if you're finding it helpful, please give a thumbs up, like, subscribe. Leave a comment below. You agree with my analysis, don't agree. Your thoughts on the market, I'd love to hear them. I certainly will chime in and respond to all the comments. Any follow or comments or likes are sincerely appreciated by me. So 2 things, of course. So we still have the flag here, like we've been talking about ad nauseum. But now, if you're into a little bit more in-depth market stuff, I like to keep it simple, but I've studied a bit of it all, of course, in my time in the markets. But first thing I wanted to mention, was it this one? Okay, if you're into Wyckoff theory, this is definitely something I'm looking at, and actually I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone with this one. Accumulation cycle here, boom boom boom, markup, retest. I mean, this is basic Wyckoff stuff here. Markup, retest, the next cycle again, another markup. Now we could be potentially in a distribution phase. What follows after the distribution phase is usually a markdown. So I don't know if it's going to happen. We're going to have to break some levels, of course, and we'll go over some downside targets. But if you're into Wyckoff theory, certainly wanted to point this out for you guys as something I was noticing, and just wanted to present it to you. So if you've never heard of it either, check it out, Google it, YouTube it. A lot of great videos out there about it, and maybe I'll do a video about it. But not really. I do like it. I think it's definitely valid, but not something I particularly You know, I'm not a fanboy or anything like that, but yeah. So wanted to point that out to you. The other thing I wanted to point out really quick, and you're gonna have to forgive the lines. I posted this on my Twitter here. Now, look what we had here back in June. No, July. Excuse me. Push, 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 push. Break of market structure. Down. What do we have in October? Push, 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 push. Break of market structure. I forget what event happened here. It might have been a CPI or FOMC, but down and then down. Okay, what are we having here? Push, 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 push. Now we still are in the flag, but we broke that market structure. So that is going to be definitely something that I'm watching. Look what's followed every time nearly. Okay, this one is not as clean, but it did play out. So, you know, one thing that we could be looking for, especially if you're bearish, and we're going to go over the bullish case of this same setup, but here you can see the inverse of it. We could come and fill this gap, back test this this trend line here, and bam, back down. But watch to see if bulls can recapture it. That's going to be bullish. But for right now, the break of this market structure is definitely something that I'm watching, and an interesting development in the price action. We did close over the 20 here today on the daily, so that was good. But it's not that far away, 407 basically, when we could final print 407.26. So I'm not putting too much stock on that close, pun intended, over the 20, and we're still under the 9. So that is just something to consider. Of course, we've been watching this Momo here selling off some, and I think I was talking in the last couple of videos about it would be pretty healthy to come in to retest that 0 line before we had a chance to come back up. But this is definitely something we want to watch out for, especially when it comes in here, because a lot of people are going to be shorting that, in my opinion. So if it breaks over, it could be setting up for a nice squeeze, or again, with a limited risk, you could be able to short that and push it down. But again, disclaimer, I'm just a fish. These videos are for entertainment, education. You know, I'm not giving any specific trading advice. Take everything with what I'm saying, a grain of salt. For all you know, I could be, 13 years old. So anyway, all right, guys, let's get into today's price action. But I definitely wanted to point those things out really quickly for y'all. So let's get into today's price action. I'll give you 2 ways to look at how this could have been traded. There are a few, there are probably 5 other ways I could explain it to you, but again, I'm really big into keeping it simple here. So let's get into the price action. What happened today? And it was very similar of yesterday. Okay, cool. All right, let's zoom out first. Let me just go here. What are we gonna do? Let's do. We could do an hour. Do an hourly, sure. Why not? Okay. I posted this chart on my Twitter. We went over this chart, and I don't know if any of you guys marked off any of the levels, but it certainly would have helped you. All right, guys, we went over all these reactions. Again, no moving averages here. This is just pure price action, okay? And again, there is simplicity is sexy. I don't need to say, make things overcomplicated to be able to take any one of these trades. What happened? I had this highlighted in the last video on this area here, this 404. Look what happened here. Bang, bang. And what happened here? Bang. Okay? What happened here when at 8:30 some data came out? Bang, we retested. This is just common market behavior, coming back, testing liquidity zone to liquidity zone. Retesting old highs and lows. This is, it's pretty basic stuff. And You know, you don't need, you know, to write a whole book about what's going on here. So, yeah. Anyway, let's look into the price action here. So, you know, we had these levels marked. If you had that 404 marked, you would have known what to do at this point. And I had it marked and I knew what to do. Okay. Oh, actually, let me get into the 5 here because there's another example of what I was talking about on that potential short play on the daily. Because here we're going to see that's a bearish example of we'll call it an inverted BRB, but I'll show you the bullish example here. 2 ways to play this, all right? Now, so we came into the level here. Well, we had a very similar situation. The sell-off wasn't quite as steep. You can see the angle of attack here. And also, one other thing. When this came up, look where it tested. Again, just came in and retested these previous lows from yesterday. Anyway, so the angle of attack wasn't as steep. I mean, this was a much sharper sell-off in Globex and pre-market and all that. This one wasn't as steep, a little bit more controlled. That's a little bit more violent, but you can see, and what happens when we have that sell-off, you know, like that. Same thing we talked about yesterday. More than likely, markets, like I said, are like a rubber band. They're going to want to snap back. So, a couple of, you know, I'm not a big over trader. I take like 2-3 trades, maybe 4 in a day. But you could have done this. You could have taken the sell-off, perfect pivot time, like 10 o'clock, like clockwork. Boom, you could have taken this trade. And I think that would have been about 20 points on ES or MES, whatever. But here that was $2. Shorted up here. 407 area. You can see I don't have it on this chart personally, but we basically came in here to retest this base. So came in right here, I don't have that on this chart. Different charts for you guys, just to show you guys some examples a little clearer. Anyway, so anyway, I got long around 11 o'clock or so, somewhere around here. We got long in MES and in I believe 410 calls, I think. But I went 2 or 3 days out. I played Tuesdays because OPEX today wasn't really interested in getting messed up with data. And certainly if I had to hold something with shorter expiration, all these moves would have killed me. Still made a new low, held through it, didn't care. Had my wrist set. I knew this area was so important. And I noticed, of course, this descending wedge reversal pattern here. So there's 2 ways you could have played it. Again, I was a little early. I could have gotten the lows, sure, okay, but yeah, you know, that's fine. No one's perfect. And so, you know, we attempted to break out, couldn't break out, came back down. They built up. They wanted to come in, get more liquidity down here, come and soak some chasers up, and then they came in again, another higher low. And we got the breakout. I did post this setup around 1. I posted this setup on Twitter for my followers, and then yeah, I said, you know, let's see if this falling wedge here has any juice, and it did. Had juice for us. So I was looking for the top of the range today. I was looking for again to test the range of liquidity to liquidity. And we certainly got that. My top of the range, 406.85. I'm going to go over that level again. I mentioned it in the previous video too, that 406.85. So certainly can mark that off if you want as an important level. Certainly important level for me. But really quickly, there's 2 ways you could have played it. You could have gotten in the lows down in here, certainly. But if you don't like that style and you wanted to wait for some type of a confirmation, I never buy a breakout. Buying breakouts, in my opinion, is a sucker's game. I don't do that. It can work. I know traders that do it, but not my style. I'm more, I'll go in for the retest. So this is the bullish version of the BRB. We talked about the bearish version earlier on the daily with that break of structure. And you can see here, we broke over, came back, retest. So breakout, retest, breakout, BRB. Okay, boom, come in, you get in here. That's what the confirmation 405 pivot we've talked about. You could put your risk a little bit below that to watch out for any fake breaks and games that they like to play before they rip it up. So could have been something you could have done. So you could have gotten in here, still a great entry, and then push. I also posted on Twitter that if we got over the highs of this candle here, I knew, they sold this, right? So I know that from here, and you could see it on the level 2 in the active trader and stuff, that there were sellers piled in here, shorts, So, so I posted on Twitter, I said, okay, if we break over 406, we're going to start to put the squeeze on the bears a little bit. And you can see when we broke over, finally, you got this big reaction in price, pushing up higher, pushing up higher. Here we got a little bit of a flag. And really I was looking for, once we broke over that 406.85, I really was looking for 407 and 408, and it's a real shame. I got tired of waiting for the markets. Of course, my options I wouldn't have been able to hold, but I could have held futures. I was looking for that 408, and they finally did it. After the week and on a Friday, I'm not willing to sit around and twiddle my thumbs with 1 or 2 MES contracts waiting for the move that I was anticipating. But it was nice to see that the high here did in fact come up to that 408.05, and I was talking about that, and the 406.85 target early, around 11:30 or so, saying all these levels way ahead. So here, they tried to sell it off, they couldn't sell it off, and I was thinking if they did break below that and confirm under that 406.50, that we'd probably retest that 406. So but we didn't, and they kept buying it up. So that is so that's what happened there. All right, let's get into some projections. I'm going to give you some bullish targets, and I'll give you some bearish targets real quick. All right, the video is already going on just as long as the last one, but let me show you another way you could have traded that. If you're not into this style of trading, if you're a fib guy, I just want to show you this as well. And all this stuff is simple price action movement here. Again, look, no moving averages. I mean, and again, I'll show you here. Let me get into this one, and what am I looking for? Aha, okay. Okay. Is this it? Oh, this is going to be about the same. No. All right. Well, I forget which one I was looking at, but either way, all the setups are the same anyway. Here, swing high, swing low, came right into, for the VP traders. So this is perfect here for the, if you do fibs or into a volume profile, which I love as well. I'm big into markets, always seeking value, and you can see value area low 404 here. 0 point on the fibs. You're getting in here. You can see also too, if you want to call it a triple bottom, you can call it that as well. 1, 2, 3. You don't even need the falling wedge. You don't even need to know patterns. You could just use the fibs here in volume profile for this trade. You're in long, and then if you're just using the fibs, you might have gotten out right at the 23.6. That's fine. That's still a great trade. So, you're going to want to watch. You can see here on the profile, there's nothing there to withstand, push the move lower. And then, we came right into VPOC here. It's going to be, magnet is going to be drawn here. I was looking for this to fill out, and we did eventually get it. I was just upset we didn't get it during normal market hours, but OPEX, what can you do, right? But yeah, so just another way to look at it. And it's, like I said, I can explain this trade to you like in 2 seconds. And that's all you need. All right, guys, let's look into some price targets for next week. To the long side, to the short side. I mean, I don't need the chart to tell you the levels. Take them with a grain of salt. Like I said, this is all entertainment, education. I am, a fish, and for all you know, I could be, 13 years old, right? All right, guys. So if you hold over 406.85 for longs, if we hold over, then I'm looking for 408.40. Okay, if we get over 408.40 and confirm, for me, depending on how big the level is, as far as importance, I'll be looking for 15-minute confirmation at the very least, but 30-minute and hourly are certainly way better. So those are some kind of things to consider. But 408.40, if we get over that, again, I've mentioned this level, so you should know it. I don't know, we'll do what you want with it. 409.55. All right. So over 409.55, we've got to get over. And the next area I think that we would be drawn to is 410.15. If we get over that 410.15, I'll be looking for the bulls to be driving price to 412. All right. Now, the 409.55, I'd consider a short there maybe. I would. Big level. And let's just see really quick. And, I know this video now here has gone on a little long, but, whatever. Let's just see where it lines up here. So I guess it really just depends on when we actually get there to retest this. Well, the markets won't be open to the 20th. So, all right. So, yeah. So I was talking about the 410.15. If we get up there, so that would pretty much line up with the inverted BRB here. So, I would consider that as a, potential short as well. Comes up, taps, and then boom, back down. That's definitely a trade I would consider. Maybe not a day trade, maybe some monthly puts or something like that. So keep that in mind. Anyway, but if we get over and could start to confirm and hold over that, and watch out for the bulls to really come in and put the hurting on them bears. So yeah, over 410.15. Over that 410.15, then 412. That's what I'd be looking for. For the bear side, for all the bears out there, all right? If we break under that 406.85, I'm gonna be looking. This one's gonna go right down the dollar lane. 406, we got the bears need to see break. Then I want to see 405 break. If that breaks, 404, 404.25, that area has to break. If that happens, 403.15. And then the final level is 402.15, I believe. And I'll show you where that lines up really quickly. Where is it? Okay, is it going to give it to us? Cool. Here it is. If that breaks, that 403.15, look for this value area low here. So that's 402.15. Well, so basically dollar stair step down. And there, now we can see, if we're going to play that, you know, if we just put that, where does that line up with? Okay. So it might be an interesting area maybe to go long again. If you ride that down, if you ride that 410 short down. So that's another area. That's something to consider. For me, as long as we're holding over 400, it's still kind of, I mean, I'll take even down to 490, down to 395. That would be the last stand pretty much, and 390. But still, 400 is going to be the major level for the bulls. So until then, you know, I'm still going to maintain my bullish bias. But of course, I'm flexible. I can change whenever. Doesn't really matter to me which way the price goes. So, all right, guys, that's pretty much it. 25 minutes. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Sorry for rambling so much, but I had to redo the video. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Be safe, take care, and let's kill it next week.